Everyone, it's Jake at Jake's Metal Chat. Hope you're all well, and welcome to episode 37 of my Metal Vault, where, if you've been watching this series for a while now, you know that I will be exploring and showing you my favorite albums within heavy metal, thrash metal, death metal, black metal, doom metal, sludge metal, folk metal, you name it, all of that excellent stuff. And this album, no question, is an absolute banger and another one from the early 2000s. Of course, I did that with episode 36 with Pig Destroyer. So going from grindcore from 2001 to funeral doom metal in 2003. And this album here, looking it up, it's nearly 21 years old, and this band has been around for 24. Originally formed in Belgium, and they moved to London, and then they moved to Cardiff in Wales, which is where I saw them. But before seeing them in Cardiff, I checked them out here, on Spotify, and just put on the music and thought this is absolutely incredible. The band that I'm talking about is Pantheïst, and I've got to meet the members of the band, and they're all amazing, fantastic, humble human beings, and their live shows are just absolutely fantastic. Just so much beautiful atmosphere and elegance, but let's not forget the heaviness of funeral doom metal in that mix. And this album here is a fantastic debut to start with. Once again, this is Pantheïst. This is their 2003 debut, Oh Solitude. And it's just, there's so many things I want to say about this album, but before I do, as well as talking about the albums, I will also be talking about the band, any releases leading up to the album that I have picked for the episode that I have planned. So let's get into a little bit of history. Like I mentioned earlier, they did form in Belgium originally in the year of 2000, but not sure when they moved to London, and I'm not sure when they left London to move to Cardiff, Wales, which is where Costas and his wife currently reside, and also the drummer that they have in the band for live shows, because they have another band, I think, for recordings and stuff. I'm not entirely sure, because there are bands which have members that do like just either that do recordings, and some that do live. But then I looked up Fanel, who is the drummer in the band now, did do drums on their latest EP, Kings Must Die, which I will be giving a good listen to tomorrow, because I'm actually going out tomorrow to meet up with my band, because we got some new members in the band, and yeah. So in conclusion, I'll be listening to that EP, but let's crack on with this album. Now, this band, like I said, the funeral doom metal, but it's also progressive doom metal. So you can say funeral doom with progressive elements or progressive funeral doom, whichever works for you. I know who you're on about. And all right, before we get onto the album, looking up the name of the band, a pantheist is someone who believes that God and the universe are the same, or in other words, that all is God, as pantheism literally means God is all. So that's basically the meaning of their band name. And a lot of their lyrics are evolved around spirituality and exploration, very like very far out stuff. There's a word I didn't think I was going to say here. And this album is really, really, it's just, I said that word earlier with their live shows. This album is beautiful and it's elegant, but very dark, heavy, and atmospheric at the same time. This is an album that you can just sit back and relax and listen to. And that might be weird to other people because, like I said, about the genre of music it is, but to people who like this stuff, they do find it relaxing. Of course, when it's like thrash and death metal, you just want to get your fist in the air and just start headbanging. This stuff you can bang your head to, but you can also relax to it. Now, the opener for this song is the title track called "Oh Solitude," of course, title of the album. Nice, nice, solid opening to the album. Great atmospheric opening. You got the guitars, the bass, the drums, and then the keyboards. And like I mentioned before, Costas is the vocalist, and he also plays keyboards. If I haven't mentioned that already, and doing them both live, he's just in the zone live, and obviously on the albums he's in the zone. Obviously, all in the zone because of the style of music. You can just get in the zone for it. But when he's playing like songs on this album live or other albums live, he's just totally somewhere else when he's playing. And I managed to get a good picture of him screaming into the microphone when they played in Newport, which is now, because as my friend not only in real life but also on Facebook, he's using it as a profile picture. So I thank you very much for that, Costas, if you are watching this right now, and any of the other members of the band. So yeah, Oh Solitude has that slow, dark, open, dark atmosphere of what you get of funeral doom metal, what you hear in funeral doom metal, and then it goes completely different. It goes to more, like I said, they got those progressive elements to the band, so it goes a little bit faster in tempo, not too fast, not like Municipal Waste or Brain Drill, just to name two bands that are like stupidly fast. And you know, Municipal Waste, one of my favorite thrash metal bands, of course. And these guys have become one of my new favorite bands because it's just how this album is well mixed and mastered, well produced, well recorded. And Oh Solitude, the title track of the album, is a great example of that. And it goes into Don't Mourn, another great atmospheric track there, which then flows straight into the song Time, which it's got the heaviness, and then it just like with these songs, it's like it's heavy like that. It goes like this, and then it's down, and then it just brings you back in there again. Same with Envy Us, and of course, again with the flowing in there, you got the heavy bit. You got like it gets heavy, and then it's like it's like it's floating along into each song, and then of course, I got the re-release here because back in 2003 when this was released on the 10th of April. So, like I said, next Wednesday, this will be 21 years old, which is a long time. And that's just an incredible feat right there. Of course, the original ended with Curse the Morning Light, but on the re-release, it ends with The Pains of Sleep. And whichever version you listen to, both fantastic closers to the album. And just totally just totally one hell of a great album. This fantastic album. Anyway, I got the book here, so I'll show the lyrics first. So right here, obviously, like I said, it's a re-release, so they got a lot of things to say about it. Like, obviously, the re-release I got from 2015, and Live Shots. That's one of the old members of the band. I'm not sure what he's doing now, but there's the man himself, Costas, on his keyboards, vocals. And if I remember correctly, my mate, who I've mentioned so many times before, off an our band Avintel, I think he said he used to have one of those headset microphones like the vocalist from Esoteric uses. And I'll be seeing them very soon in June. And then obviously just now just he's got a keyboard and has a microphone, on his keyboard. On his keyboards, should I say. But either way, he's got great vocals. And to add on to his growls and screams, obviously his growls and screams on there are fantastic. Live, just in your face. They also have a lovely female vocalist who does really, really great operatic vocals. It just adds a lot more, it adds, as well as the music being absolutely heavy and dark, adding operatic vocals to something like Funeral Doom, it works so damn well, and obviously it works in symphonic metal. But if I'm being honest, I like it more in doom metal. To be honest, if I hear vocals like that, I'd rather I like hearing it in doom metal. But obviously, I got my favorite bands who are like that progressive, symphonic sounding metal bands with that style of vocals. And oh man, just incredible band. I'll be seeing them again very soon in July, but maybe before that in June in another part of Wales. But yeah, this album here is just it's fantastic. It's just well produced. It's well recorded. I'm oh Chris was the one that engineered the album, who did this one. And he's done other bands like Aborted. Who else has he done that I know on here? Mentioned Aborted earlier, so Lynchy, that really, really cool, heavy, grindcore. I think if they were grindcore death metal or death grind, but he did them. Of course, just mentioned Pantheïst, but no, I thought he did the other two albums that I have, Amartya and Through. What was it again? Through Lands Unknown, Journey Through Lands Unknown. Right, I knew there was a word before that, which I bought when they played Cardiff. Of course, him, like I said, Costas and his wife, and and the drummer reside there. I think the other two reside in Cardiff as well. I could be totally wrong on that. But this album, if they did a set where it was just this album, I will be I'll be totally happy with that. Because sometimes bands do that. They do um like anniversary shows for certain albums. And you know, and I've mentioned this before with My Dying Bride. I love to hear Turn Loose the Swan's live. I love to hear this live because it's beautifully engineered, beautifully recorded, produced, mixed, mastered. Everyone on this album did an excellent job with their instruments, their respected instruments. Costas' vocals are very, very like I said, he does the growls and he does screams, and I think I've said this about other vocalists who do like vocal, when you get growls and screams in like, especially in like atmospheric sides of like death metal, black metal, and Funeral Doom's very atmospheric. Because if you've listened to a lot of Funeral Doom, you know how atmospheric it can be. He's got a lot of emotion behind his vocals, and it shows in his live performances as well. And on this album, it definitely shows here. And for this, I especially when he does like the screams, there's quite a lot of anguish there. Just trying to think of other, other types of um yeah, like his vocals are just so beautifully done on this album. The raw, a lot of raw emotion in there. Added on top of all the instrumentation here, and obviously, album atmosphere is different from a live atmosphere. But no matter where you hear his vocals, he still gets that energy across. And again, if you are watching this, Costas, well done on this album. Well done on the other two that I have. Well done with the two live shows that I saw you at. Just I can't wait to see this band again. Because like I said, they're playing here in Bristol in July. But like he definitely gets that raw emotion, that energy across on this album and in his songwriting. Because it is a lot of emotion in this album, and a lot of um the lyrical themes, like a lot of like sorrow, and it's not always like really sad subjects. It could be something like being like totally lost in nature and feeling that peace. And obviously you can see trees, and you see the woods and everything there, and you can get that same effect from just being totally lost in nature. And it's definitely an album for that. And these guys have definitely achieved that with this debut. It's it's just a really, really just a phenomenal, monumental album to the atmospheric side of metal, that Death Doom, um, Funeral Doom, the the very slow, heavy side of metal. And like I said, I love my death metal, I love my thrash metal, I love the harsh speed of those two genres, and black metal, of course. But then I want to listen to something like this. And this is definitely an album that everybody should check out. I highly recommend this band. If you've not heard of them before, because I didn't know about them for quite a long while until my mate told me about them. I wish I checked them out a little bit sooner because their music's incredible. And I'm not saying that because I've become friends with them. I'm saying that because I love the music. I love this album. I love My Funeral Doom. And it makes me want to write stuff like that. And I will be at some point, hopefully this weekend. And talking about this album is sparking that, and it's got that effect as well as just putting you totally at ease in like a safe environment, which obviously whichever your safe environment is, be it at home, be it in your workshop or your little man cave, or you know, or in the woods, or surrounded by nature, which whatever your sense of solitude is, this album can bring you that. So, in conclusion, and there's that word, and of course, it's nearly 21 years old, and it definitely earns the title of being a heavy, dark, atmospheric, somber, elegant, beautifully sounding, timeless masterpiece. And I stand by that, and I will stand by that, you know, for years to come. I will still stand by what I've said here. So once again, I highly recommend this band. I recommend this album. Highly recommend this and the other two that I have my own. We'll get their other albums because I didn't get those last time. Like I said, got this, the other two patch and this t-shirt. But yeah, this is, in my opinion, if you want to, you want to start with a band's journey. I mean, a lot of people, they will start with like a certain album, but if you want to start from the very beginning with a band like Pantheïst, start here. Unless you can find a demo somewhere, then start there and see where that progression's taken them from this one onwards. Just it's monumental, and it's just such a excellent, fantastically made album. Pantheïst and Oh Solitude. Beautiful sounding, heavy, dark, but gives you that sense of ease, and just knows how to relax you there. And that is the end of this episode of my Metal Vault. I hope you enjoyed it. I got lots more albums from the early 2000s to cover, as well as the 80s and 90s. And a lot more Funeral Doom to cover, because I love slow, heavy, atmospheric metal. And this album's on that list of those bands. I even put on the title track "Oh Solitude" when I was at the gym some weeks back. And it was motivating me just to carry on my workout. And it's slow, heavy stuff like this I use for when I'm lifting weights at the gym. So to all of those of death doom bands, death doom metal bands, doom metal bands, funeral doom metal bands, black doom metal bands, black and doom metal bands, whichever, just anything in doom metal, sludge metal, and so on, so forth, anything slow and heavy. Thank you for, not just for me, but for anyone that uses that type of music to get them through their workout and just to get them through the day. And this album and the title track definitely got me through my workout at the gym. So thank you very much for that. Um, anyone brand new, I know I've said this already, but welcome to my channel, welcome to the series. I have a lot more to show you here, and if to anyone new and to existing viewers, don't forget to like this video, share it around, comment down below if you have anything to say about this album, if you've heard it, if you know this band. How did you find out about this band? Where did you see them the first time? What was the first release you ever heard? Well, just anything you want to say about this album. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with everything that I have coming up on this channel. There will be new chats soon. I'm going to start messaging people that I've told that I want some guests, that, told people about becoming guests on here. Depends on their schedule. If they're, if they got family plans, or, like really important stuff in their lives, then that is totally understandable. Family does come first. Or they got a big tour plans, like that is important as well. So thank you very much for tuning in. I've been Jake at Jake's Metal Chat, and once again, keep that banner of metal held high, and I will see you all in another episode of my Metal Vault.